as well as lengths. Yeah, there are quite a few variations. So, on to the men's 400 meters we go. And this heat, we're going to see Maximilian Schwed, one of the top contenders, certainly, because he's run 45.18 this year. First of all, Janša of Slovenia, Markel Fernandez of Spain. This is Tyrell Prince of Germany, Alexandru Gabriel Vocin of Romania. On to Keenan Blake. So it's been a number of Dutch 400-meter talents coming through these competitions over the years. Isaiah Klein-Ikink is one of those who's also competing in this event this year. And then the second of the two San Marino athletes, having seen Gasparelli earlier, this is Pro Benvenuti, Matteo Di Benedetto. There we go, quite poetic to have Italy and San Marino next to one another.
On your marks.
And Schwed then, interesting that some of the faster athletes have been right on the inside. Schwed, national indoor record holder, Olympic and world indoor finalist in the 4x4 relay. That personal best was set last month. So here on the inside then, Benedetto, Benvenuti, Blake, Vocin, Prince, Fernandez and Janša. Bit of a wait for the athletes, but now underway with one lap of the track. So watch out for Schwed coming into the race late on, but you can see he's already got up and past Benedetto, who's not sluggish with a personal best of 46.4. So really keen to get an early advantage, and we know he'll come into it in the second half, visually as well, but Schwed appearing to be leading at this point as we wait for this stagger to unwind. Also going well is Markel Fernandez of Spain, 45.93 at best. So top three going through to those semi-finals, and Schwed leading the field from Fernandez, who's just about holding on to second place from Tyrell Prince of Germany, the other athlete who's gone sub 46. So this one kind of going to form, 45.77 on the clock. And Schwed, he ran pretty hard there from the start, and then took a breather and saved something for the final 100. So a very sensible race run from the inside there by the pole. Schwed, who was an Olympic finalist in the mix 4x4. Of course, the Poles maybe were at the peak of their powers in those 4x4 relays a couple of years ago. They got that Olympic gold in Tokyo. Schwed wasn't part of the quartet then. It was Karol Zalewski and Kajetan Dushinsky, I seem to remember, who ran there. And some of their female athletes, apart from Natalia Bukowiecka, kind of in the later years of their careers. But Schwed, I guess you'd say, is one of the shining lights coming through, with Bukowiecka very much at the very top of her game. Former winner of this title in Gävle in 2019, triumphing in the relay as well, just beating Lada Vondrova, who came back a couple of years later with a Czech 1-2. So nearly 3/10 ahead of Fernandez was Schwed there. And then the German Prince. So, on to this next heat of the men's 400 meters. Milan Škribani of Czechia, Mario Debrescu, Romania with a decent contingent here, and we've seen Michal Dringo and Andrea Miklos do well for them in the past, but Jonas Pfeifers of the Netherlands as we go past quickly there, Marko Orešković and Florian Kroll. Laura's coming in as the #1 athlete here, and yeah, Laura de Witte was quite impressed with that, but wondering just whether that has any impact psychologically. Certainly things are shaping up as though the Dutch will have a very strong men's 4x400 metre team. It's always interesting when you know that the team are at the top of their game at senior level. Well, what's the next generation coming through? What are you going to be like in a couple of years' time? Certainly, I know the staff and the team managers will be thinking about that at the very top of the federations. So Pozzo, Sylvester, Pfeiffers, Kroll, Orešković, Debrescu and Scribani. So that crisp sound of the gun, athletes speeding away, and you can see that Debrescu going very nicely in the blue and yellow of Romania there from lane 7, and he's past the Czech athlete Scribani on his outside. So Debrescu working hard around this bend, very close behind. Don't forget, top 3 in each heat going through. Pfeiffers and a challenge down this home straight, and Pozzo on his inside for Spain. So Jonas Pfeiffers, another who's able to save some energy as he comes through across the line in 45.76. So Pfeiffers ranked #1 and looking very strong. Yeah, so yeah, top rank out of the athletes here in this competition, I should say. So 45.76 on the clock, more than half a second ahead of Pozzo, who just beat Kroll there on the line by a couple of tenths of a second. So let's have another look here, as we remember, of course, that there are 2 more heats remaining, and there are 4-time qualifiers available across all of them. Pfeiffers, yeah, saving that bit of energy. Really hot conditions here, 27-degree heat inside the Fana Stadion. Yeah, so we'll continue decathlon shot put and pole vault in a few moments. Back to the track for this next heat of the men's 400 metres. So 3rd heat of 4. Once again, it'll be the top 3 going through and 4-time qualifiers across all of these heats. So Brody Young is one of those athletes we've seen in the past at the under-23s, and back here having improved his personal best. Gerber, Huseman, Kovac also involved. Levasseur, you can see this year he's gone sub-46 for the first time. Federico Falsetti of Italy. You always expect the Italians to be strong in the 400 metres at these age group competitions, just because the likes of Edoardo Scotti, Vladimir Rossetti have come through over the last few years. It really started when they hosted the European Under-20s in Grosseto in 2017, has continued on since then, and Italian athletics really reaching the high point of a wave. They seem to be winning everything in Tokyo, and also defending their European Team Championships crown just recently. Obviously hot conditions, as we've been saying, but the sprinters do tend to like these conditions. So with Avonia, Henry, Falsetti, Levasseur, Kovac, Huseman, Young and Gerber in this 3rd heat of 4. The starter can certainly be heard here. Decathlon shot put going on in the background, as you can see. But yeah, another strong Romanian this boy. Yeah, going well on the inside and moving past Franklin Henry of Slovakia there. Brody Young going strongly, the Scottish athlete, US-based. Just trying to move past the Swiss athlete on his outside. Through the centre, Felix Leverseur, one of the fastest in the field, but it's extremely closely matched. 45.46 for Brody Young this year. He's chasing down Leverseur in the blue of France. And Gerber just about in third place. In fact, he's very clear for these positions. Top two easing up across the line. Oh, it's close for that third. 45.79. So, weather still around 27 degrees here, and crowd trying to take shape. But Leverseur, look at that, a personal best by nearly 0.2 of a second. So, yeah, we're seeing some athletes who really want to start up their competition strongly in the heat.
Well, there's a confident young man. Personal best, going out hard from the start and able to hold it all the way through. A confident look over the side of his shoulders as well from Brody Young. Takes the second qualification place. And it was a good start from the Romanian on the inside, just couldn't hold it and realised, as you can see there, just a little too late that he was outside of that third and necessary spot.
Yes, Brody Young was a gold medalist at under-23 level a couple of years ago, and there has been some real improvements over 400 metres, you know, particularly in Europe. Obviously, Alexander Doom, phenomenal last year, just sensational, you know, right across Europeans, double there, and the world indoors, which is where it kind of started off earlier in the year. We often sometimes forget the story. Anyway, we'll wrap that up in a few moments.
Because we're going back to the track for the fourth of our round one 400 metres for the men. Luca Cito of Italy going in lane 8, European under-23 champion in the 4x4. Vasic Halkovic goes in lane 7. We stop with George John Franks, the US born and based athlete. Tezklat Sutkus of Lithuania, national under-23 champion this year. David Garcia, two-time under-23 championship silver medalist in Spain. And Andreas Glimmerlud, well received by the home crowd. He goes on the inside. So we'll have the 7 ladies outside of him to watch. Little slap of the chest. Keep your eyes on lane 5 and the newly transferred Greekman, George John Franks. And we're underway. Fairly even start. The Frenchman, Tezklat, powering through on the inside, going in lane 4. David Garcia really into his stride and going past the Lithuanian to the side of him. And now George John Franks well into his running. 200 metres to go. The Italian, Luca Cito, also going well on the outside. Franks and Garcia. Keep your eyes on Cito, though, powering through the closing stages. Glimmerlud on the inside as well. It will be Garcia who will take this final heat, and a really close battle between the Norwegian and the Italian for who will take the positions behind. New personal best for David Garcia. Well, these 400-metre runners, they are enjoying running in this heat. A season's best for Andreas Glimmerlud. Luca Cito taking the 3rd qualifying spot with George John Franks. Outside of his personal best and season's best time, having to settle for 4th.
Yeah, very similar to Leverseur, personal best by close to a couple of tenths, 45.9 to 45.7 for David Garcia. Didn't expect him to be that far clear of Luca Cito. Well, of course, was brilliant at the European Championships last year on home soil in Rome, helping them to relay medals. Coming third here, behind Grimerud and Garcia. I think the Spanish team were kind of buoyed by very strong home championships in Madrid, and maybe there is just a little bit to be gained from hosting a championships and going straight into the next one feeling full of confidence. And maybe we'll see that with the Slovenians as well, even though they maybe do have a smaller contingent than the Spanish. But yeah, there were Spanish national records in Madrid. I know we were concentrating on Maribor. We did see some results come through from there. Lucas Cito, who's just looking across, probably quite happy to see that there was no more than 2 athletes ahead of him.
And even more evident the distance that Garcia had at the front. Huge early performance, big statement from the Spaniard. And a new personal best. You always want